Clue, also known as Cluedo, is a popular 3 to 6 player board game where players collect clues and try to solve a murder. To set the game up, place each colored pawn on its corresponding color space on the board. Place the weapon pieces randomly in the rooms so there's no more than one weapon in each room. The deck of clue cards features room cards, suspect cards, and weapon cards. Divide these cards into 3 separate piles and shuffle each pile. Then remove 1 card from each pile without looking and place the 3 cards in the case file envelope. Now set the envelope in the middle of the board. Shuffle the 3 piles of cards back together and deal them all to the players one by one, face down. Give each player a pencil and a sheet from the detective notebook. Players use their detective sheet to track their guesses and eliminate suspects during the game. The detective sheet should always be kept private from other players. Next, each player picks a character to play with. To start the game, Miss Scarlet always goes first. Then play goes clockwise. On a player's turn, they start by rolling 2 dice and moving that number of spaces in any direction. If they enter a room on their turn, they can guess who they think the murderer is and what the murder weapon was, and where the murder took place. Players must guess the room that they're currently located in. For example, the player might say out loud, "I think it was Mr. Green in the study with the candlestick." Whenever a player makes a guess, they move the character and weapon they guessed into the room with them. Then the player on their left must show them 1 card from their hand if they have a card that matches one of the things that player guessed. Once the guessing player is shown a card, they check that card off of their detective sheet, and then the player to their left goes next. Players continue to make guesses and narrow down the possibilities until they've solved the murder. Once a player feels confident they've solved it, they can enter the room where they think the murder took place and make an official accusation by saying the name of the murderer, the murder weapon, and the room out loud. Then that player opens the envelope and checks the 3 cards inside without the other player seeing. If their accusation was right, they win the game. If they're not right, they lose the game and play continues with the other